Hello and welcome back to X's and O's. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Peter Borkowski, joined by our other co-host, Mr. Bubba Hayes. Bubba, how are we doing this fine Wednesday evening?
Pretty good, Peter. How about you?
Oh, just dandy in my, I would say childhood room, but we moved here after I graduated high school, so not
Uh,
really, but
Change of scenery, though.
temporary change of scenery, hopefully, until I find a real
Hmm.
job. But room is a mess, but that won't stop us. We are back after a week off, crazy week last week. So here we are. And as promised or mentioned 2 weeks ago, whenever our last episode was, we're going to do a little playoff recap. NBA and NHL playoffs are currently underway. We haven't talked about either sport yet on
Yeah.
on this podcast. So figured we'd do our due diligence and at least touch on them, not promising to go super in depth about either sport, either playoff. I haven't been able to watch a ton because of finishing up school. So, but we'll touch on some topics, maybe get into a discussion here or there. We will see. But Bubba, as our co-host, I will let you pick. Would you rather start with the NBA or the National Hockey League?
Well, why don't we start with the NBA?
Perfect. I had the bracket pulled up, so that is beautiful.
Wow.
All right. So, NBA, we are currently in the tail end of the conference semifinals. Um, Two of the series are already decided. Two of the other series, one of them is going to go to game six, and the other one, which is being played right now, is currently in game five. Um, so we'll kind of start from the beginning and work our way up, and then we'll take a break. And then when we come back, we'll start with the NHL. So let's start in the Western Conference. Why not?
Mhm.
First round seed. Well, we should mention I'm not even touching the play-in. I don't really
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
I do like the play-in, actually. I don't know if that's a hot take, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's how it's done in terms of anti-tanking, which was kind of the rationale for it, was give
Hmm.
more teams a reason to be competitive. But I don't mind it. It's an extra couple games. It's not too much of a departure from the norm. So in the first actual playoff matchup, number in the West, number one OKC versus number eight Phoenix Suns. Suns, one of the play-in teams, got the last spot. OKC swept them 4-0. Um, Kind of jumping ahead a little bit. OKC is a perfect 8-0 in the playoffs so far.
Yep.
Um, they're just a tank, man. They're so good.
Yeah.
I mean, coming off a pretty dominant run to the title last year, after they beat Indiana. Now it took them to game seven. Indiana did
Yeah.
until Halliburton got hurt, which was absolutely brutal to watch. But
Yeah.
I was really pulling for Indiana there. That would have been great. But another again, Thunder were the one seed in a competitive West, and like I said, a perfect 8-0. The Suns, I don't know much to say about. They're fine. They're mediocre. Really weird kind of last year, a couple of years for them. I mean, they were in the finals. When was that? 21 they were in the finals when they played the
Yeah.
Buck.
It was at least 3 or 4 years
They
ago. Yeah.
lost to the Bucks. They had a kind of nice thing going with CP3, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and piece by piece, just kind of falling apart. Devin Booker is still
Yeah.
there. Devin Booker's still good, but kind of stuck in this weird purgatory. So I don't have much to say about that other than Thunder good, Suns, whatever. The 2-7 matchup, the San Antonio Spurs, who have found yet another franchise big man, which they just seem
Yep.
to pull out of their ass. Took down the number seven Trailblazers 4-1. Trailblazers, a nice little fun year, kind of surpassing expectations.
Hmm.
Um, Denny Avdia had a really nice year, even though you will not find a lot of support on him on social media for let's say reasons outside of his control. Um, he is Israeli, if that is going over anyone's head. Um, he himself has not done anything bad, but let's just say the temperature is not in their favor right now. Um, Spurs beat
Poor
them four
guy.
to yeah. I mean, I do like Avdi as a player. The Bulls
I just mean
actually
I just mean he hasn't done anything wrong.
he has not
So
done anything wrong,
yeah,
and I do like Avdi as a player. The Bulls picked Patrick
yeah,
Williams over him. I don't know what that was. It's the 22 draft, 21 or 22 draft, and I was really hurt by that because I really liked Avdi as a prospect, and now he's kind of living up to his potential. Um,
hmm
Even if he brings some unwanted PA or PR, I should say. Oh well, Spurs beat him 4-1. Wemby, I don't know how much you've watched of Wemby this year, but the hype around that guy is real. If anyone has not figured it out yet, I mean, was he unanimous? Unanimous Defensive Player of the Year, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Um, that guy's absolutely a machine, and as long as he's on the Spurs, they're going to be good. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I kind of wonder, so much has changed with that franchise in the last 15 years or so, and yet it almost feels like the cycle has started again, and now it's like you feel like every year they're going to be really good,
they're
especially if they can
just
just continue to have at least some pieces around him.
they're
Like they're guaranteed to
just
be good for a while.
they're just such a well-run franchise. I mean, that's something.
Yeah,
If you find any Charles Barkley San Antonio women compilations,
yeah,
that's one of the clips is where he's like, "I love San Antonio. It's a great run
hmm
organization." And then he continues forward with the big woman bit.
yes,
But I mean, even though he was joking, like he is right that they're just such a well-run
yeah,
organization.
they are.
Ever since they got Robinson.
Hmm
Obviously they went from Robinson to Tim Duncan, and then you bring in Ginobili and Tony Parker, and then they beat the Heatles and with Kawhi Leonard,
Yeah,
and then there were a couple odd years after they traded Leonard where it
yeah,
was like DeMar DeRozan, who was good,
yeah,
but obviously not up to their usual snuff. And then they tanked, they
hmm
traded him, they tanked for a few years, and now they're right back in it
yeah,
with Wemby and Dylan Harper, Ron Harper's son, and who am I forget? Stefan Castle, former UConn standout. So, um, yeah, they're one of those. I mean, they're like I'm trying to find a comparison to another league. I mean, I guess just because and it's on your shirt, like kind of like the Cardinals in a way that
yeah,
like they're
yeah.
just well
We'll
run
take that.
and
Yeah,
not as much championship pedigree over the last
yeah.
oh,
Five, 10 years.
since the century turn. I mean, the Cardinals have won what, two since 2000,
Yeah,
right? Oh, oh
yep.
06 and 11. So,
11, yeah. And we've been to
um,
like, four,
well,
so
and that's the
but
thing.
still,
It's
but
like
still
that,
point
or
taken.
even like the Packers.
Yeah,
Both of
yeah.
those hurt my soul to say, but it's true. It's like
No, yeah,
they're just always competitive, and it's the Spurs usually find a way to get to a championship.
yeah,
So, and it helps
yeah,
that they keep getting generational big men somehow.
yeah.
So. All right, moving on. Minnesota versus Denver round. I think this is like round three of these two teams meeting. Minnesota wins 4-2, 6/3. Um, I'm really interested in Denver. Jokic, I mean, I am a Bulls fan, but like Jokic is probably my favorite player to watch in the NBA. Um, and like I think he is the best player in the world. I'll stake my flag on that. Now,
Fair
Wemby,
enough.
Wemby might be there in a couple of years, but what Jokic does offensively is just insane. Um, I'm really interested to see where Denver goes from here because you have the best player in the world and you have good players around him, and yet they just cannot, you know, they keep running into Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who keeps beating up. And Minnesota's a fun watch too with Anthony Edwards and my, former Bulls standout Io DeSumo. Um, I did. We'll get there, but I did watch the end of Game 4 against the Spurs, and that was a wild win. And Anthony Edwards is always entertaining to watch. So, um, yeah, I'm interested to see where the Nuggets go. They're an interesting franchise. And then the last first round matchup in the West, 4v5 Lakers beat the Rockets 4-2. Rockets without KD for most of the series, if not all the series.
Yeah.
They've also missed Fred VanVleet, their starting point guard, all year. Um, but granted, the Lakers were without Luca and also Austin Reeves for some of that series.
was gonna say it sounds like you were really avoiding trying to give any credit to your favorite player, LeBron, there, but
I mean, look, LeBron was good during like I can't, I mean, obviously when you're missing your best player, who is Luca, and you're missing your third best player, Austin Reeves, for part of the series, like yeah, obviously whoever the lead guy is, which was LeBron in this case, and the Lakers roster is not outside of those three is not great. Um,
yeah,
but
yep.
and I wouldn't say I did watch a fair bit of this series because my now ex-roommate back in Carbondale is a huge LeBron fan. So he did have these games on quite a
Mhm.
bit. And I wouldn't say LeBron did what he always did, which is like he was very good, obviously, but he wasn't like pop off the page good, if that makes sense. Um, where
Yeah,
you don't watch and you go, oh my God, LeBron is, tearing up the Rockets. And then you look, he's like,
yeah,
oh, he's got 28. Shit. Like
yeah,
that's just how I feel about LeBron now. Is like, yeah, the guy's still very good, obviously, even at age 85. It's just, he doesn't have that pop factor that he used to, or maybe some of the other stars have now. Which he shouldn't need to, because
yeah.
ideally Luca is healthy. But it is what it is. Um,
I still think that's one of the nicest things I've ever heard you say about LeBron.
look, it's not that I don't acknowledge that LeBron is a great player of all time. He is. Um, it's just I'm sorry, I will die in the hill that if you start saying he's better than Jordan, that's where I will step in. So, um,
I didn't say anything like that. I
oh, I
just
know.
know you've always,
I'm not
I
saying
just know
you do.
you've always loved to shit
I'm
on
not
LeBron.
saying I'm
Yeah,
not saying you did, but as a
yeah,
staunch Jordan fan, like
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna and how do I say this without sounding like an ignorant fan? It especially the last couple of years, so much of the talk about LeBron has been his longevity, which like
yeah.
obviously is something to celebrate. The fact that the guy's still doing what he's doing in year 20,
Hmm.
20, what is it, 21 or 20, between 21 and 23.
Yeah,
I forget where we're at now. 23 maybe.
I'd be
Um,
23.
like it is amazing that he's doing what he's still doing. Um, it's just that, when you get into arguments, like so many of the pros about LeBron are, oh, well, he leads the NBA in points and this and that, which is great and obviously a huge milestone. It's just to me at a almost at a certain point, and I'm not trying to be ignorant, almost at a certain point, it does feel a little empty, if that makes sense. Like, we're comparing him to some of the greats, and like they have equal or better resumes in like half the amount of time. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not trying to start Jordan LeBron here, but you look at like Jordan's resume, it's like, well, two more championships, 10 less,
yeah,
not 10 less. Is it 10? How many? LeBron has 10 finals losses, doesn't he? Um, it's 8 or 10. I think it's 10. Jeez. No finals losses, more MVPs, more finals MVPs, more defensive player of the years, and he did it in like 10 less years. Like that's the kind of stuff that I value. So, like, yes, I agree that he is the second best player of all time. Um, it's just like let's settle down a little bit
yeah.
now. And plus,
I do think I do think it'll be interesting, like once his career is over, to kind of have a, a clear look at both of the resumes. Like in my view, yes, you're right. We don't want to have this whole conversation right now. I do think Jordan is probably the better player, but I think you could at least have a conversation about it, depending on what, metric you want to go by. But
well,
I think because he has those extra championships, it's going to be really hard, especially with how many more opportunities LeBron had. I think
right.
it's going to be kind of hard
Well,
to, to make that case.
and that's the thing is like when we compare them, and people already do, like
Yeah,
LeBron's gonna sweep the total categories. He has more points, he has
yeah,
more assists, he has more rebounds, he has more. Jordan's gonna sweep the by minute categories. Like he scored more per minute. He,
yeah,
did this, and Jordan still has more accolades somehow.
yeah,
He's got more finals, he's got more MVPs, more finals MVPs. He's got that defensive player of the year. I don't know. It'll be a really interesting discussion. I
yeah.
The last thing we'll say about this before we move on, because I know probably one of the few topics here that you're an expert on is LeBron. Um, do you think he
Just
retire?
steering the
Do
conversation.
you think he retires this year?
I mean, I don't really. I don't think there's been much of an indication to suggest that,
There
but
hasn't,
I guess I don't really. I'm gonna go no, but I guess you never know. I think it would be kind of weird, just in my view, for his career to kind of end almost with like a whimper, you know. But then again, that has been sort of the way some of these great careers have ended. Like
right?
at a certain point, like he can't keep coming back. And like I think he has it in the tank to play another year. Yes,
Yeah,
but I guess the question has to be like, what would the point? You know, is he just coming back to play another year,
right.
or is there something that he still feels like he needs to achieve? Because to me, he doesn't have to prove anything else. Like
No,
just coming back again would be awesome, but he doesn't need to prove anything to anyone.
I think I say no because I do think we're gonna get the retirement tour. Like, I think he would
Okay.
he would be stupid to not do that. Like, you
Yeah.
say, "Hey, this is my last season," and then everyone goes to his last game at MSG. Everyone goes to his last game at United. Everyone goes to his last game
Yeah.
at so on and so forth. Um, I,
Hmm.
I, I mean, yes, he doesn't have to prove anything. The only thing that makes me think, and this would be maybe if he switches teams this offseason, is
Yeah.
if he does want to, because you're right, there's not much else he can do now to really boost his resume. The only thing is like if he goes out a champ somewhere. If he
Yeah.
go
Exactly.
if he goes and gets number 5 and can say he retired a champion, like that's the only thing he could probably do at this point where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that does add a little bit. I still don't think it
Yeah.
adds enough, but it would definitely add some. So, um, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think it'll happen, but I think at a certain point, like you said, he's also got to be like, all right, like I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna have another good year, and then we're gonna lose in the second round. Like, how long does the guy do
Hmm.
that? And with the way the West is
Yeah.
shaping up between OKC and San Antonio, like the Lakers aren't gonna be able to do it. So, in my opinion,
Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
just a lot
as
of really, and yeah.
And
There's just
As good as Luca is, and Luca's very good when he's healthy, I still don't think
yeah,
they'll ever have enough in the next few years to get past OKC or San Antonio, barring injuries. So, um,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of that exact matchup, the Thunder wrapped up their sweep over the Lakers,
yep.
4-0. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. Let's see. Did Luca end up playing at all? Luca still didn't end up playing. So,
I don't believe he did.
no, he did not. So, um, kind of as expected, honestly. I think the only team who will give the Thunder problems are the Spurs, who are currently up 3-2 over the Timberwolves.
Hmm.
Spurs matched up well with OKC this year, and obviously the Spurs have Wemby. So that's the only team I can see beating the Thunder honestly at all. Um,
Okay.
they get that matchup, they get Wemby in there because Wemby, I mean, we saw Wemby's a freaking game changer. I mean, they
Yeah.
lost him in game 4 of this series, and they lost. He was ejected for, I don't know if you saw this, he elbowed the shit out of, I think it's Julius Randle. Um,
I
and
did. Well, I think I saw this. Greg Popovich was like giving him a talking to on like the
right,
tarmac of the airport, if I think I
right.
saw that right.
And like, oh my God, I don't know how someone wouldn't die. I mean, thank God Wemby's
Hmm.
not built like LeBron because that would kill
Yeah.
someone. Because of how tall
Yeah.
he is, his elbow is at head level. So,
Yeah.
um, I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. So he got ejected. Um, there's also a really funny clip of after he got ejected, like he's on the bench talking to someone. I don't know who. I don't remember off the top of my head. And like after they call it was a technical two that he was ejected. He's like looking at the guy he's talking to, and he's like, like me, like, and the guy's like, yeah, you're ejected, and he's like, ejected, and I'm like, Wemby, I know your English isn't that bad. Like you know what
Yeah.
a
You.
tech two is, but so that was funny, but. Um, yeah, I think the Spurs will beat the Wolves, and then I think the Thunder will beat the Spurs. I mean, Wemby's great, and it's going to give them a lot of
How many
problems.
games?
I think that'll go 6 or 7. Honestly, I think
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I think Wemby will give them a lot of problems, but the Thunder have now been there.
Yeah.
They were there last year, so um, yeah. All right, let's jump over to the East before we hit break time. The East, which I don't think has been as interesting, but still, it is my conference. Go Bulls, sadly. Um, hey, Caleb Wilson, though, welcome to Chicago. You are a Chicago Bull,
Hmm.
um, or Cam Boozer. I'll take either one. So that'll be really interesting. I mean, because the la draft lottery was last couple days ago. Um,
Yeah.
and everyone, I think it'll go. I honestly don't know. I think Dan Bansta will go one. Um,
Yeah.
Peterson will go two, and then
Yeah.
I honestly don't know between Boozer and Wilson. I kind of want Wilson more, honestly. I mean, Boozer's good. I think Wilson's got a higher.
Interesting.
I think Wilson's got a higher ceiling though. Um,
Just as far as the NBA is concerned.
As I mean, just in general too. I
Yeah.
mean, Boozer's
Yeah.
very good. I think his floor is higher. I think his ceiling's a little lower though than Wilson.
Okay.
Um, Wilson's just I wasn't really paying. I don't pay too much attention to basketball until the tournament, college basketball until the tournament, and Wilson didn't play in the tournament.
Yeah.
And even if he did, it would have been one game. Um, but I did not realize just how much of a freak that kid is. My God. I
Yeah.
mean, long, athletic. Ugh, please. I would having two Caleb W's run Chicago. So, all right, Eastern Conference playoffs. Let's get back on track. 1-8 Pistons beat the Magic 4-3. That was a hell of a series. Magic were up 3-1. Pistons come all the way back as the one seed. Um, so weird to say that the Pistons are the one seed, but here we are.
Yeah. It's hard to
Um,
get used to that.
Magic just, God, they just shot themselves in the foot. They had a huge lead in game six, too, I think it was. It was 5 or 6, or maybe it was 7. They had a huge lead in a closeout game and they blew it.
Yeah.
Um, Tom Thibodeau is going to coach the Magic. That's my prediction. Bulls legend, Tom
Really?
Thibodeau. Well, they fired
Wow.
their coach, and I think it makes a ton of sense. They are a kind of a defensive orientated team. And a team like that who's now made the playoffs a couple of years, like they're going to look for an experienced coach. They're not going to take a shot on
Yeah.
a young guy, I bet. They're going to look for somebody who has a record, and Tom Thibodeau doesn't have a ring. Well, a ring as a head coach, but he does have the record. Um,
Yeah.
so,
What
and
has
I
he
like,
been up to the last year or so?
I don't think anything after the Knicks fired him.
Okay.
The Knicks fired
Yeah,
him
I was gonna
after
say.
the Knicks fired him after last season. And I think he's just been biding his time. So,
Okay. I don't
because
think he's done any like media stuff or
no,
anything.
no, no,
So
I don't know how well Tom Thibodeau would do with media.
yeah.
Probably not great, but I like Tom. I like Thibodeau as a coach. There were rumors that he might go back to Chicago, which I kind of don't hope is true, but it definitely seems like he'll get a job this offseason.
Okay.
Number two, Boston Celtics over against number seven, 76ers. Philly wins that one 4-3. I'm surprised Boston didn't burn down. Um, Another actually very good series. I'm kind of surprised. Celtics were actually my pick to get out of the East. Um, Way better than expected this year with missing Tatum for most of the year. And then he came
Yeah.
back. They looked great with him. He looked good for coming off that injury. Just couldn't get it done against the 76ers. So, still moving on. At number three, Knicks take down number six Hawks 4-2. Um, Knicks want to talk about turnaround. The Knicks being very competitive the last couple of years has been unusual, but here we are. Um, they're under first, like I said, under first year head coach Mike Brown, who's not a rookie coach, but it's his first year with them after they fired Thibodeau. Um, and then number four, Cavaliers beat number five, Toronto 4-3. Good to see Toronto kind of pull it together after a couple of
Yeah.
down years. I mean, I don't really have any affiliation with them, but I always like seeing Toronto be good at basketball. Um, so nice to see them be good again. And then so far in the second round, the Knicks sweeping the 76ers 4-0. I'm surprised Philadelphia didn't burn down after that. Um,
Yeah.
And then
Maybe
man,
it has. Who knows?
who knows? Yeah, would we care? Man, the 76ers are such a joke. I mean, they've been this weird team the last couple of years, the last handful of years of their, they look good, like the process, they trust the process. The
Yeah.
process kind of finally worked, like they were a good team,
Yeah.
but Embiid can't stay healthy. They can't seem to find the right players around him. Paul George is there, which is fun. Um, I don't know. It's not, I don't know what the Sixers are gonna do, but and Concordia University of Chicago alumni Nick Nurse as their head coach. So
Hmm.
got his
Didn't know that.
got his master's there my freshman year.
Okay. Nice.
And then there was another coach who got his master's from Concordia. It was the old coach of the Bucks, not Darvin Ham, and not obviously
Hmm.
Doc Rivers. Uh, Hang on, I want to find it.
I can
What
see
was
his face, but
Bucks head coach? I can't spell coach. CUC. Not Taylor Jenkins. Taylor Jenkins did not go to CUC. Coaches, come on. This is really slowing us down. Adrian Griffin? I think that was it. He was their
not
coach. I
who I
know.
was
I
thinking
know.
of.
I know he was their coach. I'm just trying to make sure he was actually who I'm thinking of. Come on, Wikipedia. Adrian Griffin, CUC. Why am I not finding it? Nick Nurse. Oh yeah, it was Adrian Griffin when he was an assistant coach with the Raptors. I knew it. Oh, and they got their doc.
Assistant.
Yeah, and they got their doctorates. Look at that. Anyways, yeah. So it's you know, see, if I had a nickel for every time CUC had an NBA coach as an alum, I would have two nickels, which isn't a lot. It's weird. It
Yeah.
happened twice though.
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
Um, where were we? Oh, Nick Nurse. All right, and then the other series, which is still going on right now. One Pistons versus four Cavaliers. Series tied 2-2. Pistons currently up 60 to 52 in the third quarter of that one. Um, Pistons, like I think they're just kind of happy to be here. I mean, after being
Yeah.
what they were for so long, they get the one seed. Cavaliers are going to be interesting if they don't make a big run. Um, Obviously, they got Donovan Mitchell a couple of years ago in the Utah trade, and now they also have James Harden, notable playoff performer. Let's put it that way. I won't
Yeah.
say good or bad. Um, James Harden. So if the Pistons don't do something this year, that's gonna be interesting. Maybe a LeBron reunion is in their future. I don't.
I I take it the Knicks are probably the heavy favorites to get out of the East at this
They
point.
gotta be. I mean, between them, the Cavs and the Pistons, like the Cavs they kind of folded last year as the one seed, and then this year, they're the four seed and they're tied 2-2. Um, and then like the Knicks are just a better team. Um, and the Pistons, like they're the one team on paper, they might be the best team, but they haven't been here before.
Hmm.
And the Knicks were here, I think they went to the conference finals last year. So no, maybe they did. I think they did. I think they did end up
Yeah, they
losing to.
did.
They did end up losing to the Pacers. I was trying to think. I thought it was Indiana Boston for a second, but no, it was Knicks Pacers.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so.
so the Knicks have been there. They've got the experience. It's just going to be, are they going to pull a Knicks and fuck it up somehow? Um, Kind of like the Mets of the MLB world, except the Knicks were actually good this year. Um, so yeah, we're probably if I had to put money on it, we're probably getting a Knicks Thunder finals, um,
Okay.
which would
It'd
be
be interesting.
interesting. And I've always just because of how school is, I usually start watching like really watching during the conference finals. Um,
Okay.
Less games to watch. I'm out of school at that point. Now I'm
Hmm.
out of school, so that's when I'm gonna really start locking in is once we get down to those final four. Though I do want to keep an eye on Minnesota, San Antonio because that should be a that's gonna be a fun series to wrap up. So that's the NBA world. And then after that, we'll get into the draft, which you might have a little more to say about since that's college for the most part,
Yeah.
college kids. Um,
Yeah.
just looking at mocks lately, It'll be an interesting, you can really break it into tiers, the draft. Um, like you got the 1A guys who are Peterson and Dine Bansta. You got the 1B
Yeah,
guys who are Boozer and Wilson. And then after that, it's just kind of like you see Wagner's name a lot. You see Acuff's name a
yeah,
lot. You see Fleming's name a lot. And then you get to the next tier of guys, which are your Lindeborgs and your Maras. Mara's gonna be really interesting. I don't know how he'll translate to
yeah,
the NBA, but
yeah. That's kind of tough.
I don't know.
I do think Peterson is kind of my. I think. I mean, not to I obviously you're not going to go wrong with Dibatsa with the number one pick, but or Diabatsa with the number one pick. But it's like Peterson, I think possibly has the most upside out of any player in the draft. So
Hmm.
I do think, whoever, ends up getting him, if obviously right now it's looking like he's not going to go first. I
He'll go
do
to
think,
Utah.
I do think in a couple years, whoever's the GM that doesn't pick him might end up regretting that. I also would say watch out for Acuff, who's
Hmm.
just a really solid player. I think that'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see where he ends up. But yeah, those are just kind of my early thoughts.
Yeah, the only thing at the top, I mean, other than just the order, I mean, I think Dan Patsta is going to go one. I think at this point,
Yeah,
I mean, talent wise, him and Peterson are probably about equal, and he also doesn't have the health baggage that Peterson might.
yeah.
Though I don't know how much of that was blown out of proportions. I know we talked about that back
A
during the
lot of it
tournament.
was, yeah,
The only thing that I'm interested about those top two picks, outside of again who goes where, is Dan Bonsta's got a lot of Utah connections. Um, Obviously went to
yeah.
college at Brigham Young and also played his final year of high school.
BYU.
Fi Played his final year of high school ball, or maybe all of it, at least his final year of high school ball in Utah. And he has
Hmm.
connections to the Utah front office. And Danny Ainge, who's in the Utah front office, is a BYU guy. And I don't know, their owner, president, I don't know what Smith's official title is. Whoever their head honcho is, he's a big donor for BYU.
Yeah,
Um, so I do kind of wonder if they might try to trade up to get him. And they're just
yeah,
fascinated with him. And if I'm the Wizards, I mean, depending on what you get back, I would do that. Because I mean,
yeah,
even if you view Peterson as the two, he's not that far behind of a two,
yeah, yeah,
and you will get extra draft capital just so
yeah,
Utah can get their guy. So,
yeah.
oh,
It could definitely be worth it to consider.
it'll be interesting. So, all right, well, let's take a break, and then we come back. We'll jump onto the ice and talk about the NHL playoffs. And welcome back. Bubba and I have returned from our break, and we're going to go over the NHL playoffs up into this point. Kind of like the NBA, we're getting towards the tail end of the second round. NHL just a little bit behind the NBA, as always, but um, still plenty a little bit to talk about as we're about halfway through. So let's kick it off with the Western Conference, shall we? Hang on, I'm looking at I forgot. I always forget about how the seeding works in NHL. So. All right. The Central Division champions, one seed in the Central, the Avalanche taking on a wild card team, number four Kings. Avalanche win that one 4-0. Avalanche, I same thoughts about them as I do the Thunder, where
The team
they're
to beat.
they're just so good.
Yeah,
They were President's Trophy winners and did not show any signs of that slowing down, even though the President's Trophy winner usually doesn't
yeah,
win the cup. Um, they did not show any signs of slowing down in the first round. So
yeah. Well, fuck Stan Kroenke, so hopefully they do lose at some point.
maybe is he? Well, it's his son, isn't it? Isn't his son?
Same,
I mean, I know it's the same name, but still,
same
like
stain bloodline.
I know it's the same name, but it's
Yeah,
not. It's
Josh
not.
Kroenke. Yeah, I don't care.
It's not the same. It's not Stan the
I don't
man.
care.
So what do you mean? St. Louis loves
Well,
Stan
Josh
Kroenke.
Kroenke went to Mizzou.
Oh, there you go. You and him are going to be alumni brothers pretty soon. So
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love that. All
I'll
right.
make sure to I'll make sure to speak my mind at the reunion.
There you go. Moving on, two Stars versus three Wild Central Division rivalry. Wild win that one 4-2. A little bit of a surprise. Stars, kind of the
Yeah,
same story the last couple of years. Always really good.
yeah,
Just can't cross that hump. And this year it was the Wild in the first round.
yeah. I really thought they were going to have one by now. This wasn't the year that I thought they'd do it, but I thought they'd have one by now.
Well, they went to the
They've
finals.
had some really good chances.
When did they go to the finals? 21, 22. They were a part of the
Yeah,
Lightning back to
maybe.
back, weren't they?
Yeah,
Because the
yeah. That
Lightning,
sounds familiar.
Dallas Stanley Cup. I don't want 19. Yeah, I know they won in 1999. That's not what I'm looking for. Conference championships 19 to 20. So 21 was the weird Lightning Canadians
Yeah,
matchup because of COVID.
yeah.
So Dallas Lightning would have been 20, I believe. Yeah. So they were the first
Wait,
of the. Oh.
wait. No, what wouldn't that have been 20 in the bubble? Yeah, and then 21 would have been Dallas.
No, this is saying 1920. So, how did, yeah, I forgot how they did this. Um,
Because in 2020 they did it. They started in like June or so. In the
well,
they did. I don't know
they
if it
were
was.
they were suspended and then
Yeah,
they came
maybe it was even
back.
later than that. It might have been like
Um,
August.
resumed official play in two controlled locations in August 2020. There you go.
Okay.
Good shout.
Yep.
Um, Western Conference teams at Edmonton, Eastern Conference in Toronto.
Yep.
Um, beat the Flames, the Avs, and then the Golden Knights, and then lost to Tampa. And then I guess the 2021 season was the weird. I forgot how they did it, but I just remember we ended up getting Canadians Lightning in the finals.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. That's so strange.
You don't remember
So
the
did
you don't
I
remember
remember that. I remember that. I just don't really remember that at all. I think I
it,
pigeonholed that. That's strange. I don't really remember that. Was it like another bubble situation?
so due to the pandemic, the regular season was cut to 56 games, began on January 19th, 13th.
Okay. I remember
Cross
that.
cross border restrictions. They realigned the league realigned for the season to four
Okay.
temporary divisions. Each team only played within their divisions. And then I forgot how the playoffs work. Um, so the playoffs were like normal. They were just based off the weird divisions.
Okay. Yeah, that's, I mean, I guess, geez, that was
And
5 years ago, but man,
somehow
that's
because
very fuzzy.
Tampa was coming from where'd they come from? Tampa was coming from the Central Division, which was on
Okay.
one side of the bracket, and Montreal was
They,
coming from the North Division, which was the Canada division, and they were on the
okay.
other side of the bracket. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
I very vaguely remember that, but not much,
I
honestly.
have completely blacked out that whole time period, I think.
Ye-
So, other than I remember I was in Denver for that
Yeah.
cup final.
Fair enough.
Anyways, yes, Dallas does not have one yet, even
Okay.
though they've been very competitive for the last however many years. But also, shout out the Wild. They're always there. Like
Yeah.
they're the kind of the same way,
Yeah.
just not as many like conference finals and a cup appearance. But they're usually a first round, second
Yeah.
round team. So they are currently down
Yeah.
three to
And that's
one.
just a great state. That's just a great state for hockey, is all I was
It,
going to
it
say.
is a good hockey state. They are down 3-1 to the Avs, but are up 3-1 in their game tonight, which is after two. So looks like they will be going to a game 6, barring a miracle Avs. comeback. So, all right. And then moving on, we have the Pacific champion, the Golden Knights taking down the Mammoth. Shout out Utah for making the playoffs. Um, Also good name, the Mammoth. I like they settled on
Yeah,
that, even though it is also the name of a National Lacrosse League team, but no one gives a shit. So no one gives a shit besides
correct.
me. I do have a hat. It's somewhere in my mess of stuff. So, anyways, Golden Knights again, kind of like Dallas, except they do have a cup. Just always a competitive team. Always get a marquee big name, whether it be Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, or Mitch Marner is the latest addition. Um,
Yep.
People do not. I don't have a strong opinion on them. I like their logo, but I know people really don't like Vegas for a plethora of reasons. I don't. Uh,
Yeah, I don't have anything against them. I think it's very unusual the way they've kind of, come onto the scene as, an expansion franchise and pretty much always been good. Like
well,
that's just not something,
they went to the Cup Finals their first year.
yeah.
They lost to the
It's
Capitals.
yeah. Like
So
I don't think unless I'm just not remembering a year, I don't think they've had like a bad year.
not a bad year. No, they're always in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just a well-run organization.
Yep.
And then the final series of the Western first round, Anaheim, the young kids on the block with Coach Q, Blackhawks legend. Um,
Hmm. And
who,
Blues.
who, yeah, right. That's what he's known for. The Ducks upsetting the Oilers 4-2. I'm really interested every year this happens about McDavid. Um,
Yeah.
because he's getting near 30. He just
Yeah.
lost two back-to-back cups. It's the only thing he has left, really. I mean, the guy has
Mhm.
cemented himself as a multiple-time MVP, one of the best to ever do it in terms of just pure talent and production. Just cannot get that ring. So I'm going to be really interested. And hockey players
Yeah.
don't usually do this. Um, they're not as much of divas as NBA players are, where they request trades.
Yeah.
But I wonder when is the final when is the straw going to break the camel's back where he's like, "Look, guys, I want a cup." Like, and
Yeah.
it's clearly not happening here because I have
Yeah.
another top 10 player in the league on my side and Draisaitl, and we still
Yeah.
can't get it done. So,
Yeah. It's
I don't think he will, but because he does seem to be a quieter guy too.
yeah.
And again, hockey players usually just don't act that way, period. Um, But I don't know. You got to figure at some point he's gonna be like, guys, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I have two thoughts about this. One, I remember remarking to somebody a couple years ago, and I think we might have actually bet on it. I said McDavid is never going to win a cup.
hmm
And that was mostly just because I thought, well, he's never going to win a cup with the Oilers because they just don't, they're kind of like the Maple Leafs in a way that doesn't matter, what players they put around him. Like they can't
it
seem to
doesn't
get it
happen.
done.
Yeah,
Exactly. So part of me, I really like McDavid as a player, and he seems like a really good guy. But I kind of want to be right, so I'm gonna root for him to stay on the Oilers and not get a cup.
damn,
But
jackass.
on the other hand, I did think it was interesting. Immediately after they lost, like within the next day or two, I saw like five different like mock trades,
Yeah.
floated of him going to all five different teams.
Well,
And I
that
just I'm kind of curious, is that something that you kind of mentioned that he's kind of initiating, or is that something that maybe the Oilers are open to?
if
I don't really know.
if he
But
initiates it, it's not going to be public or it's not going to be
yeah,
explicit because I don't see that
yeah,
out of him. And again, you don't see that in the NHL almost
no.
at all, like you do in the
Um,
NBA. Um,
yeah. But I just wonder if maybe his camp is kind of, soft pedaling that a little bit just to get maybe that conversation going in the public and just maybe at least get some teams reaching out, just to see if it's even possible.
right.
Because I do think that would be, if he was available, that would be a very interesting sweepstakes. So many different fits that I think would be really, really intriguing for him. But obviously, that's really only something he can decide if that's something he's willing to consider.
Right, because I don't know if Edmonton would do it. under their own
Yeah. Yeah.
volition. I mean, the guy's the
No.
face of the
Yeah.
franchise. He's gonna be considered one of the greatest of all time. Under Gretzky, obviously. I
Yeah.
don't know if
Yeah.
anyone will ever touch him. Um, he'll be in that, Crosby Ovechkin conversation or Lemieux.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they would pull the trigger on that without him kind of pushing them to. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Go Ducks though. I do kind of like the Ducks being good. Um, they're currently down to the Golden Knights 3-2 in their series. I hope they win it, but I think Golden Knights will.
Yeah.
I think the Avs will come out of the West. They're just so good. Um, two of the best players in the world, and McKinnon and McCarr and whatnot. Um, before I jump to the East, I did mean to ask you this. When we actually saw each other yesterday, are the Blues going to trade Robert Thomas? Have
See,
you
that's a very
have you
see,
heard it?
I
Have you heard this? Like,
see this conversation has been going on for like a year now because it's not just Thomas that gets floated, it's Cairo as well.
hmm
And so, if you would have asked me like a couple months ago, I would have said Cairo was definitely going to get moved at the trade deadline, and there was a decent chance Thomas was. Now, I really don't know. I think that the hard thing with the Blues is that they've done this now several years in a row where they've been in prime position to get a really good draft pick, and
hmm
then they pull their heads out of their asses and start playing really good, and they just basically tank the tank and
they missed the playoffs by a spot, and then
kind of and they end up, right in the middle. And so that's it's exactly what happened, this year. So I don't know. They're in a tough position. Like they have a really good young core of players to where I could see. I just think they have to do something because they can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome, even with some, better younger players. So I don't know if that's going to be Thomas getting moved or Kyrou or what the deal is. I've actually heard a rumor that they're maybe trying to land. I can't remember which one it is, but one of the Kachuk brothers,
mm,
which, obviously a lot of St. Louis connections, but I wouldn't really be in favor of that. It's not Matthew Kachuk. So it's not the better
Brady,
Kachuk brother.
the Ottawa, the one in Ottawa.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's Brady that the
Brady,
one that they've been linked to.
yeah, interesting. Because
So yeah,
the only reason I ask is because like I'm a Hawks fan, and within like 2 days, I saw multiple. I saw two like mock off seasons, and both of them had the Hawks trading for Robert Thomas, and I'm like, okay, something has to be up if I'm seeing this twice now. I mean,
yeah,
that's not just some guy on social media throwing out, oh, I think they
yeah,
should
yeah,
trade for Thomas. If I've seen it twice from two different sources, that must mean something's
yeah.
real on that end. So
I
I
will
don't,
just say, even though I think the rivalry has died down the last couple of years, if they make that trade, I really don't see it being with the Blackhawks.
I didn't either. The only thing was like both of them had the Hawks giving up at least two prospects and a fourth. The fourth overall pick. And then one of them had two first rounds, the fourth and then a future first, I think it was, because the Hawks have two
Okay.
firsts this year, I believe. I think they do. So it would, if the Blues are looking to really get a haul for him in terms of picks and prospects, like the Hawks are
They
one
could
of
be a
those
good
the
fit.
the Hawks are one of those teams in the league where like they have all these young prospects who are good and they have all these picks now. They're also in a position where they want to start competing again.
Yeah,
The next year is kind of going to be the all right, let's see some results season for them. And Thomas is a guy who would definitely help because
yeah,
as good as Bedard is, and Bedard's very good, he's not a number one center type of player,
yeah,
which obviously Thomas is. They could move Bedard to the wing, where I think he would be better because he's, not getting beat up as much. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. So, all right, let's move over to the East. One of the stories of the season, the Buffalo Sabres
yeah,
landing the one seed in the Atlantic. They beat the Bruins 4 games to 2. Good to see. I liked seeing the Sabres good after a
yeah,
decade and a half or whatever it was, um, since their last appearance, the New York Jets of the
yeah.
NHL world.
It's kind of like the Pistons, like though it almost seems weird seeing them in
It's
this
weird.
position.
It's weird. I think it's weirder than the Pistons because the Pistons at least had a couple years of, all right, we're a little bit better. All right, now we're a little bit better. Now we're the one seed. The Sabres just, I mean, they just kind of came
Yeah,
out of nowhere. They missed the playoffs last year, and now they're the one seed in the Atlantic, and they are tied in their current series. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Montreal beating the Lightning in 7 games, 4-3. Kind of surprised by that one. The
yeah,
Canadians, younger team, kind of trying to get back to the top of the hill, going up against a perennial powerhouse or perennial good team in the Lightning, and they beat them in 7. So,
yeah,
hey, look at that. I did not expect that. Sets up a really interesting matchup. I mean, who would have thought we'd get Sabres Canadians round two? Um, Two teams
yeah,
who have
yeah. It's
been not
pretty cool.
great as of late, and one of them will go to the conference finals. So,
Yeah, and
Carolina,
I guess now Montreal is the last hope for Canada again this year, I believe. I think they're the last Canadian team.
yes, they are. So,
So
because the next team we're going to talk about got eliminated, and then Edmonton got knocked out. So.
yeah,
God, I hope that. Look, I don't really have any hate for Canada. I just love that trend continues. I don't know why. It's amazing. And I know it's a numbers game. There's so many more American teams than Canadian teams, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is as our
yeah.
faithful great leader said, this is our sport now. So, um,
Mm,
they can't beat us in hockey anymore. All right. Moving on. Carolina sweeping the Senators 4-0. So there's the other Canadian team who is out. Um, Carolina, another one of those teams where it's like, all right, we got to see something this year. They're always, I don't know if
yeah,
it's just because it's Carolina and you don't associate hockey with it, but like you just don't, you always forget that they're always good, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
Um,
They've had some really good teams though,
They've had
especially
some
in the last
really
five
good
years.
they've had some really good teams the last couple of years and just couldn't beat Tampa and then couldn't beat Florida when
Yeah,
they went back to back. So um who would have thought the Eastern powerhouses would be in hockey would be Carolina and
yeah.
Florida teams, but I guess it's the way the
Hmm.
cookie crumbles. And then the Battle of Pennsylvania surprised the whole state and it explode. The Flyers beat the Penguins 4-2. Um, Kind of almost an under the radar. I mean, I don't think people expected either of these teams to be that good this year. Um,
Yeah.
Flyers have kind of slowly been building up, and Pittsburgh, you always wait for that fall off just because of their age between
Hmm.
Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, but they made it back and couldn't beat those brothers out east, Phillies east. Yeah. So yeah, look at that. But
Yeah.
then the Flyers, some consolation to Penguin fans. Flyers got swept 4-0 in the second round by Carolina. So Carolina's in the conference
Ye-
finals.
Yeah.
Colorado probably will be, and then Vegas is up by 1, and Montreal and Buffalo will have to see. So is it not hang on, what day is it? It's the 13th. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I didn't really follow. I mean, I followed the Hawks this year quite a bit just because they were actually kind of fun to watch, but I didn't really follow the NHL as a whole as much as I usually do. Um, I knew the Avs were good. Other than that, I was kind of in the dark a bit, so I don't feel right making a prediction about a cup. Um, for the hell of it, Buffalo beats Anaheim. Screw it, full chaos, make it happen.
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna go Carolina beats the Knights.
Okay. You want a little bit more realistic than me.
Yeah,
I could see it. I
just a
mean,
little
I
bit.
I think if a team in the West is going to beat the Avs, it'll be the Knights. Um, I don't know if I honestly see the Sabres or Canadians beating the Hurricanes. I
I
mean,
don't. I
then
just don't.
again, I didn't see the Sabres and Canadians being here to begin with, but
Yeah. Yeah, so who knows?
whoever they face, um, the Hurricanes are going to have the experience factor too. So, alrighty. Well, that is our NHL slash NBA. It's blowing up. Stop texting me. Um, NHL NBA playoff recap. Maybe we'll touch on it again once everything's wrapped up. We'll definitely do an NBA draft. I think that'll be fun with your college ball knowledge. Um, and I do follow the NBA closer than I follow college, so that's when I kind of get involved as well. But as of that, I don't know what else we'll talk about. We're kind of in the doldrums of summer now. Um, you got baseball
We're gonna
going
have to,
on,
yeah, we're gonna
but
have to come up with some topics.
I don't want to talk about baseball every week. Um, and then NFL's in a dead period. So I don't know. We'll see. But I do know you will get dogs are barking. We could talk some UFL football. Um,
Oh, God.
Go Battlehawks, right, Bubba?
No,
Um,
I mean I don't have anything against the Battlehawks, but I've just never been able to view that as the
I have not
you
either.
know,
Um, or I don't know, maybe when you finally get into Formula One, we could talk about it more. Because I know you're going to.
I'm still owed a golf episode
And
and a tennis
you
episode.
do have, okay, I didn't say tennis. Golf, yes.
What? Well, I mean, you said we're in a slow period, so
Well,
you might
if
as
you can come up with a tennis episode, I'm all ears. So,
yeah.
um, all righty. Well, Bubba, if you don't have any more closing thoughts, what are the Cardinals doing?
They are tied at 0 in the fourth inning against the Sacramento Athletics
Let's go A's. Come on, baby.
in this
Um,
AAA ballpark.
they're in Sacramento. I actually don't mind it. I mean,
No,
I've
it
only
actually
seen,
plays it plays bigger than I thought it would.
yeah.
It seems like it's a little bit harder to hit it out than
I mean,
I
it
would
seems
have
like
presumed.
it feels like a spring training park.
Yeah,
So it could be worse.
yeah.
But anyways, so alrighty. Well, in that case, hello, puppy. Yes, I know it's dinner time, Mr. Coop. We will figure out what we're going to talk about next week. So, Bubba,
Sounds
enjoy your
good.
Wednesday. As always, go Gorlocks. You guys will get them next year.
Yep,
Um, and we will see everybody
damn
again.
right.
Damn right. Put money on it, baby. I know you can't. I'm not saying you should. So, but I will, Bubba. I will for
Yeah,
you. So,
don't that would be not a bad bet. Not a bad
and
bet, just saying.
NCAA Bubba is not betting. Get that straight. It will be all me.
Yes,
So,
let's get that straight. Yep.
all right. We'll see everyone next week.